Jake, we're going into a lot of local derbies and everything. Would you say it's a tougher stretch than going overseas?
Yeah, look, they both have their challenges, Cole. I mean, it would be wrong of me to say that playing at home is easier than playing away when you're playing big derby games. The thing about derby games, which you're all aware of, they're like double points. Because you're in the same conference, if you get an away win or if you get a win against someone in your conference, it's like not only you're getting the 4 or the 5, you're making sure they don't get 4 or 5. So I think for every conference, you look at when Munster play Leinster, if you look at, when Zebra play Benetton, when you look at our internal derby games, they're as tough as all other conferences as well. So, yeah, but historically, you would also understand that the Stormers playing against the Bulls or Northern Transvaal playing Western Province is the measurement of where South African rugby is in every year.
Stuff.
Jake, obviously the Storm is going to be desperate. With their lock position.
So are we.
Yeah, I know. I mean, were you expecting that from them? Obviously, they can't afford to lose it as well. So.
Well, that's what's so nice about derbies. I mean, we've been in a situation as well, Bryn. We've played them a few times in a row now. I'm talking about the last couple of years where we were also desperate and we never got a win, So, but saying that, I mean, I said to someone now coming here that when the Bulls and the Stormers is the big game of the year, then we're doing our jobs. Then we're doing something right. The day that people don't talk about the North-South Derby as the big one means that we're not doing our jobs. And all I hear now is there's 40,000 tickets sold, and that makes me happy because it means that people still see the North-South Derby as one of the big clashes in the calendar. And so we also going to be desperate to win. We want to finish as high up as we can because we know what home ground advantage means in the back end of the competition. And therefore we need to win these games as well, So it's going to be an interesting clash, and I'm looking forward to it.
Anything different that you're doing? I mean, you guys haven't had that much success in Cape Town. I mean, you've got the monkey off the back last year.
Yeah. Try to find another hotel, to be honest, and I don't mean that we thought maybe we changed a lot of other things that are happening in and around Cape Town that don't make it that easy. And that was just something we discussed. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. We just thought maybe there might be a way in changing the stimulus a little bit, But, I'm not superstitious at all because we've never played the Stormers first week in February when we third on the log and they 12th. Never played the Stormers when we haven't had a 10 that we can start with. We've never played the Stormers, without their number one lock and their number one fullback in Damian Willemse. So to be superstitious and go, we need to change this, we need to change that because it's not working is, as I said, the venue is probably the same, but it's a completely different game.
Just you don't have both your captains for this game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who else is not available, but
no, those two aren't. I mean, but Brendan, one thing that I said to you guys many times, and you've been with me for a long time now, is Grobis is captain, Marcel is captain, Ludwig's captain, Nazamka's captain. So we're not in a situation where we won't have leaders on the field. I'm comfortable that whoever takes the armband is going to get help from the other 3 or other 4 that are on the field. And, I don't believe it's just the captaincy that's going to win it this week. It's going to be everyone on the same page.
Jake, just to get started in terms of the squad itself, of the guys you couldn't pick last time,
yes,
the last match,
yes,
who's now become available, and then just what's the actual situation with those two?
Okay, so I think what will happen, I just had a meeting with Edgar, and I think to hit the nail on the head, because he said to me, a lot of media asking him about all our injuries. I think Lunga will put something out on the press now about where we are injury-wise on specific players. I think you'd appreciate that. I don't really want to tell the whole world on when they're coming back, which game I'm expecting them to play, because, it's not a selection meeting, And I think often what happens is you let the opposition know what your thinking is, who you can use, and all that sort of stuff. And so there's nothing sinister about it, or not trying to be difficult. We'll do a press release and give you as much information as we can on who's out and what our thoughts are. In terms of guys that are back, Marco van Staden's now back, as in from an injury, so he's eligible to play. Leave-wise, I think every guy has now had his leave. So, a guy like Willie was the last guy who couldn't play the last game because of the leave factor. But I think everyone now is available to be selected, barring the injuries which we'll talk about. Ruan Ulrich and Johan Goosen. Basically those 3.
And what's it like going down there? I mean, not to talk of streaks and whatnot. what's it like going down there in the position that with literally the beat in the foot
Yeah.
in terms of maybe the last time you guys played against each other? Is it a place of confidence or is it a place of trepidation?
Yeah, I think to be fair, it's the same for everybody. When people come to Loftus, I would believe that they don't feel as comfortable as when they play at home. It's the same for any of us. When you go to away and you play in front of 45,000 people, of which 2/3 I would say or more are going to be supporting Western Province or the Stormers. I mean, then it comes with a daunting task, but and it is a challenge. But saying that, I mean, we won the last game at Newlands when we played Western Province as Western Province. We won the first game at that new stadium when we played there. We beat them in the first game there as well. So, to say that it's only negative memories, a lot of positives of having to finish off at Newlands, beat them, play the first game in Cape Town Stadium, beat them. There's a lot, and the group changes. There are people that are here now that wouldn't have played in those games 2-3 years ago. So, I don't think we need to, as I said, you can, as a coach, you can linger on those negativities. But for me, it's a new group, it's a new challenge. I've got no doubt that whatever the outcome is won't be based on what happened last year.
Obviously, a lot runs through your mind when you're playing these games. You said earlier, you can't say play against a local team is less difficult to play in overseas side. But what are the things that play in your mind differently when you play a local team, especially when you look at the 2 injuries you suffered?
I would think that one of the things that it's just the way it is players in both teams lift their games. That the intensity gets tougher. And they just find another gear. I mean, if you look at any player, you look at players who, have been here, have gone there, have played well. You get guys who've come from there to here, have played well. You get guys who went from here to the Lions, play well against. It's just because when there's a derby game, it's almost like a statement for you to put your hand up. And that I'm not expecting anything different. They always up against us. They always play well. And as I said earlier to Brendan, when the North-South Derby is the biggest game that people talk about and at full stadiums, then we're doing our jobs. Then I mean, I'd hate to get there and there's only 10,000 people in the stadium and no one wants to come watch the game, because then I don't believe we're doing that fixture the justice it deserves. And so, there's nothing that I will do differently. We're going to play them twice in the next month, once here, once there. We just got to make sure that we find a way to play as well as we can. Ja, sê maar.
Jack, julle het Saterdag kan regkry die Stormers en Kaap te wen, is julle 5de wegwen in 9 wedstryde.
Ja.
Julle het al 4 wegwen van die huis af. Het julle selfvertroue dat julle 'n span is wat kan wegwen van die huis af?
Baie. En Kobus sê met ek was by die Brumbies gewees. Ek dink die langste wenrekord weg van die huis af was die Brumbies daai tyd, 11 wedstryde weg van die huis af in Super Rugby. So ek weet wat die en ek verstaan wat die wegwenne beteken vir 'n span. En jy's reg, jy weet hierdie jaar 5 gespeel, 4 gewen. En ons kon maklik die een wat ons verloor het gewen het omdat ons 'n rooi kaart gekry het. So jy weet dis nog 'n moontlikheid om van 6 wedstryde 5 te wen, en dis ongelooflik om te dink in hierdie kompetisie as jy wegwenne kan kry. Maar dit beteken nie jy gaan net alles kry by die huis nie. Dit beteken net jy die harde werk gedoen om jouself in 'n goeie posisie te sit. En dis hoekom ek sê vir ons is dit weer eens 'n uitdaging vir ons om die Stormers in Kaapstad te wen, omdat ons kry hulle oor 3 weke terug of 4 weke van nou af terug hierso.
Span sonder Roan, Elrich en Goose, julle diepte gaan getoets word in 'n
Ja.
paar weke.
Ja, ek dink Mani, Damien, JD, Roan Nel, Kitsoff. Jy weet wat ek sê is almal het hulle probleme. Jy weet as jy nou net met die negatiewe goed kyk, jy weet almal kan 'n verskoning vra en sê luister maar onthou net ons het nie ons beste span nie, en ek dink wat ons geleer het en jy weet deur die jare geleer het, jy moet jou hele diepte kan regkry, en ek is vol vertroue dat wat ons het en wie gespeel het en wie in die laaste games gespeel het en wie in die volgende games gaan speel, gaan goed genoeg gewees om 'n resultaat vir ons te kry.
Ek het veral in die los trio het julle baie diepte.
Ja.
Nou 'n kans vir Matthys Elrich wat uit is, iemand anders om te kom.
Ja, maar ons het, jy weet ons het, jy weet baie opsies wat ons daar Jan Hendrik, what's his name, Janus Kirsten kom nou terug. Mpilo is nou net terug van 'n besering af en ek weet nie of hy reg is nie, maar as hy nou terugkom dan het ons Mpilo en Janus en dan onthou Marco wat nou terugkom soos ek sê en dan het ons Namakaba wat daar kan speel. So ons het hang af van hoe ons wil speel en wat se kombinasies ons wil speel, maar jy weet ek is gelukkig dat ons ten minste jy weet 'n los trio het wat kan kombineer.
Yeah, just Jake obviously reports on the weekend that you guys are trying to sign Willie again.
Yes,
on that.
yes.
Just after his performance in
Yes.
the Park,
Yes.
the fly-off
Yes.
situation. Just your thought process going into this weekend.
Yeah, let me just say, Brent, I mean, we didn't want to re-sign him. The bottom line is he had an option to leave, and I think what's happened is he's probably rethought about the fact that he might want to keep the option of staying here, you know. And we're over the moon about that because it wasn't our call for him to leave. It was just an option of 2+1. If you want to stay, we'd like you to, and if you don't, then we understand, you know. And as it's turned out, I mean, I think I get the feeling it's not formal yet, but I think I get the feeling he would like to maybe look at an option of staying, and that's fantastic, you know. I know he jokes about it because he says fly-halves earn more than fullbacks. So again, he'll have to go and see Edgar and work out what fly-halves get that play fullback. Because I'm not sure if it's the same as if you're a fly-half that plays fly-half. But I mean, you know, last week he turned the game on its head. You know, he's different. 2 weeks ago, he's definitely. I mean, we know what he offers us. We know how good he is. We know when he's on song how important he is to us. And I mean, I think we get the rubber stamp by signing him because now we need him to go into that position and no one's concerned about it. You know, in fact, people are excited about the fact that he could play 10. And that's what's so nice. It means that 2 years ago when we brought him back and we actually signed him for the Bulls, it's actually worked out in our favour because we've got a lot of good performances out of him in the last 2 years.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.